A man has 2 wives or 3 or 4. And can he basically have intimate relations in the daytime? Not the night. He's not cheating her out of her turn, but he has a break, a coffee break, or his boss gives him off. You can go home early today, or on his delivery route, or whatever the case may be, and he mysteriously pops up at his what? His first wife's house. He has intercourse with her. And then at nighttime, when he's off work, he goes back to the other night, whose night it is. And that second wife, no matter whether she was the first or the second or the third, she complains that he can't, go the distance. He doesn't have the stamina to fulfill her desires. This is a real life situation, guys. You guys may be giggling, but this is what? This is real. And it's a huge problem as well. Khairan, inshallah. As we said before, if you have more than one wife, then there are many responsibilities that you have. You having more than one wife does not mean that you have a lot of money and that's it. You can pay for 2 households, 2 apartments, 2 cars, 2 refrigerators. It's more than that. But you have to be mentally stable. You have to be psychologically stable. You have to be spiritually strong to administer and to run 2 different households. You have 2 women with contrast personalities. They have feelings, they have emotions, they have anger, they have jealousy, they have different menstrual cycles, all different types of chemical imbalances. You have to be stable to deal with these 2 women correctly and thoroughly. And if you can't do that, then you're unsuited to have more than one wife. And also the physical stamina as well. If your body is not strong enough to have sex with 2 women and please them both and give her what she wants and needs and all that which is necessary and required for her to be chaste, then you're not allowed to have 2 wives as well. And the people of knowledge, they say, when the Prophet ﷺ said, get married if you can, فَإِنَّهُ أَغَضُّ لِلْبَصَرِ وَأَحْسَنُ لِلْفَرْجِ. It says it keeps someone's piety and cleanness and chasteness. They say for the man and for the woman. When a man has intercourse with his wife, he avoids zina and haram. And he also keeps her from zina and from haram. And the people of knowledge, some of them, they say, such as Ibn Sa'di in his tafsir, they say, is that when a man is unchaste himself, he practices infidelity. He sleeps around. He says in most cases his wife will do the same. His wife is going to cheat. Just like he's not sufficing himself with the halal, now she's forced to do what? Suffice herself with the halal. As it says in a famous song, it's an old song, and we know that there's wisdom in poetry. And the poetry doesn't just have to be Arabian or Arabic poetry. It's an old song. Most of you guys are too young to know about this. It's an oldie song. And the song goes like this. The hook says, you know you're wrong when you don't get it at home. It says, you know you're wrong when you don't get it at home. That is totally what we're talking about. If you don't have a halal sex and you have sexual desires, you're going to do what? You're going to roam. You're going to find it somewhere else because that's the need of the human being, just like food and drink. If there's no food and drink in your house, you're going to do what? You're going to go outside and find it. If your parents aren't giving you enough allowance, enough money, you're going to do something to make money because you need that money. So that's a huge problem. So if you don't have the stamina to please your wife and to allow her to reach her climax and give her whatever she needs and wants, we don't have to get into no details. What's important is if you cannot please your wife sexually, that's a problem. Let alone if it's because you were with another woman earlier who you weren't supposed to be with. You're supposed to spend the night with the wife and not the daytime. The daytime is supposed to be a means of what? Working. Allah says we made the daytime, He says, ma'ashan, as a means of earning money, of hustling, of working, doing something beneficial. The nighttime is the time in which you what? Relax and lie down under the cover of the night. So therefore, let's say hypothetically, because the man was with his wife earlier, and he goes to the second wife at night, his desires are not the same. So his wife, she dresses up for him, she puts on perfume and her nightgown and whatever she's wearing, Allahu Alam, and he's really not, he cuts on the TV, yeah, right. She goes to kiss him, hugs him, and he's just flicking through ESPN because he was with a woman earlier. He had another meal, so he's not what? He's not hungry. He's not that hungry. He may take a bite or two, but he's not what? He's not hungry. Or, even worse than that, is he does go to the woman But for one reason or another, and then we're just going to say the haq, Abu Muawiyah, the haq yuqal, huh? There's no shyness in the deen. Because let's say hypothetically he was with his wife, the first wife an hour ago or early in the daytime, and he doesn't get the same type of erection with his second wife at night. Or it doesn't last long, whatever the case may be, then that's a problem. And you're oppressing the second wife. It's her haq upon you that you go in and handle your business strongly, to the best of your ability, how Allah made you. And if you can't, and you don't suffice her, she may what? Roam. And the sin is going to what? Fall on you. So therefore, the concept of problems with sexuality, erectile dysfunction, is nothing that's new. It's not just in 2017. It's not just perverted Muslims in the West. No. You read the kutub of the ulama, the fuqaha of the past, they talk about bab al-innin. And every chapter, every book of fiqh, there's something called bab al-innin. And it's talking about the man who's what? Who's impotent. And how the marriage is to be split up. If he cannot provide the necessary what? Provision. Everybody, it's just that simple. Whether it's through taking a drink, eating something, oysters, ginseng, whatever you have to take. Huh? Shake. If not, then there's a problem. Let alone the fact that it comes from you being with another woman that you weren't supposed to be with. Then she found out you were with her, you went over there and had sex with her, and it's my night. I barely get enough time. You come home, you're tired, you take off your work boots, and you go to sleep. And you have enough time to go over there. That's going to be a damaging blow. And as we said before, if you're going to have more than one wife, it is your job to help those women to submit to something that is culturally rejected, something that is socially taboo, something that they're not used to, they're not accustomed to. So the sister is fighting her desires. She's fighting her jealousy. She's trying to ignore her kafir mother. She's trying to ignore her Muslim parents that come from Pakistan and says a second wife is bad. She's trying her best. And you come along and you do what? So what? Submit to it. That's not the sign of a wise man. So it's your job to do what? It's to do what? At least smooth the way for her to the best of your ability. Because there are going to be bumps in the roads, things that you cannot get across. You can't get around. There's no politically correct in this concept. But the least you can do is do what? Smooth it. And that has to be done through maturity, through knowledge, and stability of the man. And I'm only talking off of experience. Most brothers, or a lot of brothers, if not most of them, they don't do this. They make it a hardship for her to accept that which was already a hardship. And Allah clearly told us to help each other upon birr and taqwa. It's not just necessarily physical, but it goes back to the mental state. Is that you have to have some type of maturity. Don't play around. Don't mix people's rights up. You can't control yourself. This is another wife. This is a hard night. She deserves something. Don't do that. If you can't walk straight, then you shouldn't have two wives.